Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm TeeHee, and I am here for something a little bit different than the usual. I am here to talk about next season's anime. So that is the Winter 2019 lineup. Fall anime is ending soon, and the new ones are going to start coming out in the beginning of next month. And as with this season, there are some things that I'm interested in, some things that I'm definitely going to watch, and some things that I'm at least going to try the first episode and have to prune. Because there's no way there are a bunch of shows that I'm potentially interested in, and there's just no way that I'm going to be able to watch them all. They just won't all fit into my schedule. But I wanted to make a quick sort of vloggy type unscripted video where I just go through all of the shows that interest me and talk about why they interest me off the bat, and just sort of do it off the top of my head and tell you about it. So I've pulled them all up in tabs on my anime list, and I'm gonna go through them and just point out things about these shows that interest me and talk about what I know about them and why I'm interested. If I missed something that you think I should definitely be watching, let me know in the comments. I've gone through the soon-to-be airing stuff a couple of times, and I don't think I'm missing anything that's of interest. So this should be it. So let's kick it off with the obvious, super-duper, mega obvious choice, which is Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. I mean, for all the same reasons as Mob Psycho 100, Mob Psycho 100 is one of my favorite anime, certainly in the last few years, and I think it's fantastic. This is once again being adapted by Bones. Bones is pretty darn solid, always, or almost always, I should say. I believe the director is the same guy. I believe it's, yep, no, yes, no, different director. No, yes, same director. I'm stupid. Let me shut up now. He's also worked on a whole lot of other stuff, done storyboarding and episode directing for a whole bunch of other stuff. He's the original creator and director of Death Parade. All kinds of good things. Yuzuru Tachikawa, good stuff. Same cast, same music creator, same everything. There's no reason for me to think that this will be any worse than the first season of Mob Psycho 100. And I loved the first season of Mob Psycho 100. If you somehow have not seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a great story about talent and purpose and, yeah, talent and power. And it's cleverly directed. The music is rockin'. The characters are great, specifically Reagan. Everyone talks about Reagan because he's a great fucking character. But I would also say that Shigeo is a really interesting character, sort of a relatable, unrelatable protagonist, in that the struggle that he goes through is extremely relatable, but of course his struggle is centered around having incredible power, and that's sort of unrelatable. Similar in some ways to One Punch Man, for fairly obvious reasons, because it is created by one, but very much its own thing with its own style and its own great sense of humor and great writing in general. It's really good, and I assume that Season 2 is also going to be really good, so I have no reason to suspect that it will be anything worse than the previous season. And so I am essentially guaranteed to watch through all of this while it's airing. I'm just going to be watching it, and if I'm watching something, I'm going to turn on the camera and I'm going to record it, and ta-da! And this airs on January 7th, which is Monday, which is kind of great because that doesn't really overlap with anything. It's Monday at like 9 or 10 a.m. I don't know when it'll actually simulcast, but that's like 9 a.m., I think. 23 GST, 6 a.m. Okay, 6 a.m. I don't know when it'll simulcast, though, because they have to sub it. I don't know. Doesn't matter. If it's on Mondays, that's great, because Monday is my Eva day, and it's just Eva that day. I don't have 2 shows that day at this point, but I will once Mob starts airing. The second show on the lineup is Yakusoku no Neverland. I've heard a lot about the manga. I've heard very, very good things about the manga. Now, this one is a show that is right just on the fence. Because while the manga may be great, may be extraordinary, it's being adapted by Cloverworks, and the director has nothing of note under his belt. So let's just quickly take a look here. Clover knocked it out of the park with Seishin Buta, I think, but that's a very different type of show than Yakusoku no Neverland is supposed to be. And then in terms of things with ratings, with good ratings, Fairy Tail does not get a high rating from me. Darling in the Franxx does not get a high rating from me. Never heard of any of the rest of these. Yeah. So they did really well with Seishin Buta, in my opinion. I think it's a really good show. But it's a very different style. And a lot of what was good about it was the writing, and not so much the adaptation. I assume that writing strength came from the source material. Now, that said, this is also supposed to have really strong source material, so maybe it'll be great. I'm worried. I feel like it'll fall flat. But it's got an interesting premise. Of course, premise is the worst way to judge a show, and the most frequently used bad way to judge a show, because a premise does not mean anything for how the show will go, how the writing will be, how the animation will be, how it will be put together, how the directing will be, any of that. What does have a part to play in that is the studio that's producing it and the director. He has only Denpateki no Nakanojo and Elfen Lied, or Lied. I don't actually know if it's one or the other. I've heard both as an actual director credit, and then a few other things that are not of note. So I don't know if this guy can pull this through. Basically, I doubt it is the problem. And I'm not saying that like I think he's bad or anything. I just don't think that he can put this out at the level of quality that people are expecting, and so I expect this to be disappointing for people who have read the manga. Now, for me, it might be a perfectly passable show, but to make it through the lineup that I'm looking at, you're going to have to do more than be passable. You're going to have to be really good, because my schedule is packed already, and it's going to get more packed when some of these other shows get added in, and I have to trim the fat. So Neverland is on the chopping block, shall we say. But I'm hoping that it knocks my socks off and is fantastic. I mean, I'm always hoping that any show is going to be fantastic. Like, why would I go into a show wanting it to not be good? You know, if I'm watching something, I want it to be good, because then it's like, fuck yeah, it's good, awesome. This is the next show on the lineup. Oh, and Neverland airs on Fridays. Early morning. So that's Jojo Friday, and so it's got some competition there. Yeah. And there is another show on the lineup, which we'll get to soon, that also airs on Fridays. So it's got some serious competition there. Next one on the lineup is The Rising of the Shield Hero. Again, this is a strong manga that's supposed to be really good. There's somebody on the SOS Bros Discord who's like constantly hyping this up. It's some kind of I wouldn't call it necessarily a subversion, but some kind of unique take on the isekai genre. It's definitely in another world, and I think it paints the MC as being kind of an asshole. I don't know. But it is adapted by Kinema Citrus, and Takao Obo is the director, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't have literally anything where he is credited as director. Okay, Norn 9. He is credited as director on. And this thing, okay, and that's it. Everything else that he's worked on has been as a key animator or occasionally as an episode director, and none of them are big name titles, I don't think. Nope. Norn 9. Oh, okay. This looks not good. This was Kinema Citrus, okay. Okay. This guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Oh, okay. Whatever. Yuck. Just on the face of it, yuck. Kinema Citrus has some good stuff. They definitely have some good stuff. They also have some flops. This is going to be a wait and see. It's got apparently really strong source material. Director with not a lot of experience. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it lives up to the hype. I'm hoping so. Next up on the list is Dororo. Oh, and Shield Hero airs on Wednesdays. So that's my What the Fuck Wednesday slot. Which is currently Bunny Girl and Banana Fish. If it's any good, I'll watch it. This is something that I haven't seen a lot of hype around, but I am extremely hyped for. I'm extremely interested in Dororo. Just because everything I read about it makes me more and more interesting. More and more interested. The director also directed... What did he direct that was of interest to me? Something. Right. He's directed a number of the Rurouni Kenshin OVAs. And some other stuff. Oh, right, the 1999 Hunter x Hunter. And he did storyboard for Higurashi, but specifically the Rurouni Kenshin OVAs, which are really highly rated. I think they're in the, they're in the 8s. So this show is written by, or originally created at least, by Tezuka. By Osamu Tezuka, the guy who created Astro Boy and Blackjack and a whole bunch of other stuff. And this is a readaptation to it. So the original Dororo to Hyakimaru is this show and was done a long time ago, 69. And it's supposed to be really gory and like dark for a children's anime. This just looks fucking great. It just looks so good. It's Tezuka and Mappa. So Tezuka did Sakamichi, a ton of Blackjack. Tezuka Prod is his the studio that he created, you know? They've got a whole bunch of really great old films. And some stuff that's set in this era that's really interesting. Not so much great new stuff. And then Mappa, which also did Sakamichi no Apollon, Banana Fish, Yuri on Ice. Mappa's a good studio generally. They do good stuff. They were responsible for Zombieland Saga recently, Ushio Totoro, whole bunch of stuff. Kakegurui, whole bunch of stuff. Shingeki no Bahamut, There's no reason to expect that the animation and style of it will be anything but top-notch. or at least very good. And then what else was it that I wanted to mention? Oh, right. The promo art, because the promo art looks fucking amazing. Aesthetic as fuck. Like, I don't know why, but I love this aesthetic. Ignore even the fact that the guy has sword arms. He has sword arms. Sword arms. Again, that's premise stuff, right? Body parts sold to demons for something and he's going for revenge. Okay. This aesthetic. I love it. I love it. This aesthetic. I love it. I love it. Got this goofy looking happy kid, this like Sasuke looking like off in the distance like character, and you know they're gonna play off of each other because the kid's like goofy and he's like, I have sword arms. Shut up, kid. I literally have sword arms. It's great. It's just gonna be I'm not saying it's gonna be great. So far, what I've seen of the promo art and stuff like that, it's fucking great. This 10 out of 10 aesthetic. Gorgeous ink painting. Gorgeous. It's just very pretty. The use of light in this shot and the composition of this one image is just enough to get me hype about this show. Not to mention this image, which certainly is enough to get me hype about this show. It's got almost a Sword of the Stranger vibe, you know? Like, yes. Yes. Give me a period, a historical, like, period thing with supernatural elements. Fuck yeah. Do it. Please. I'm so hyped for that. And as I said, I haven't seen many other people getting really hyped for Dororo, and I'm like, I want the show. Dororo also airs on Mondays, so it will be competing for its slot with Mob Psycho and Eva. That's basically impossible. But I'm gonna watch the first episode and see if I want to continue with it. If I do want to continue with it, I will find the time to do it. It might actually get pushed to Tuesdays. I don't know. Tuesday's Run with the Wind is continuing, and I'm going to continue watching it because it's really good. But if I have to push Dororo to Tuesdays because of Mob Psycho and Eva, then I will. And then it's just Dororo and Eva, Dororo and Run with the Wind and Saiki K on Tuesdays. I don't know. We'll see. The next one definitely has some hype behind it, and it is Boogie Pop Warawanai. Or Boogie Pop Never Laughs. So I know I know way too little about the Boogie Pop franchise in general. I have not seen the first one. I have not seen the first Boogie Pop, and I have not read the light novels. And so I've been keeping it that way because this is airing and I want to go in as blind as physically possible. It is the new Madhouse show of the season. That generally makes me think, oh, Madhouse is adapting it, it's probably going to be worth watching. Not necessarily a stellar, stunning masterpiece, but worth watching. And Boogie Pop is getting something along the lines of the Hunter x Hunter treatment. And I say that because Hunter x Hunter is a show that was adapted with a number of changes to the manga previously, and then, you know, the people weren't super hype about the adaptation, the first adaptation, and then Madhouse took over the property and ran with it and created the Hunter x Hunter that most of us know and love. So that seems to be what they're doing with Boogie Pop. They are doing a direct adaptation of the content in the novels instead of a side story set in between them. And I'm expecting it to be really good. I've stayed away from literally anything about this except for, you know, who is attached to it and what have they done before. And it's Shingo Natsume. And he's got a lot of interesting credits, not a lot as director of stuff, but he directed One Punch Man, and that's pretty good, and he directed Space Dandy, and that's pretty damn good, and he worked on Gurren Lagann, and that's pretty good, so I get the feeling the guy can do what he needs to do. So, okay, Boogie Pop. Bada bing, bada boogie pop. And then it's script and series composition by the same guy as One Punch Man, Tiger and Bunny, so a lot of episodes. Saint Seiya, okay. And not much else. Okay. I think because this is a legacy property, that they're going to put a lot into it. And it's R17 for violence and profanity. Not even for nudity, so just violent as fuck. Sweet. And it airs on Fridays. Like 4 a.m. I don't know when it'll simulcast. Next up, this is a show that I'm probably going to trim the fat on. I strongly doubt that I will watch this show. But there are some interesting things about it that make me intrigued. So, series composition by... Oops. Same guy has the credit for the same thing on the new Berserk, yikes, and Psychopaths. If you aren't aware, the series composition credit is if there isn't a specific person given the role, then it usually falls to the scriptwriter, but it's somebody who works in between the director and the scriptwriter, basically deciding where things go and when, and how things are paced in the show, and how elements of the script like fit together into the scenes. It's like in between director and script, like the go-between between those two. And so if there isn't somebody specifically credited for that, then usually you'll get a situation where you get script and series composition as one person. Who wrote the script for this? It's not listed. Okay. And the Goro Taniguchi, he's somebody. Is he the... Yeah, he's the creator of Code Geass. Original creator, director, storyboard of Code Geass. Which is what's interesting here. I think there are mechs built into this. He also directed Planetes, which I didn't know before. Which I think is really interesting. And it is a show that I quite like. I have no idea what the show is going to be. I really can't tell anything from the promo art that I've seen. Like, it's super, like, post-apocalypse, clearly, but they're in school uniforms. Why? And then, like, weird electric powers, splitting normal time and then time, and, like, what? And, like, a city in the middle of fantasy hell, and then that looks like a crazy bike with two wheels on it, and that's the same girl who's like standing facing the other direction. I think that might actually be the exact same. No, it's not exactly the same. Very similar though. And she looking thick, and like, I have no idea what to expect from this. I have no idea, but I figure I'll watch the first episode, and if it's generic garbage, then I'll throw it in the trash, and if it's surprisingly amazing, then I'll consider watching it. And it airs on January 10th, which is Thursday, which would actually be like okay for a thing to air, and I could watch it. Another thing that I won't find on Mal, because it's not an anime, but I will at least watch the first episode of, is Rooster Teeth's new CG animated show, Genlock. I don't really know much about it. It appears to be future dystopia stuff, and a lot of the creative staff is shared with Ruby. It intrigues me. I'm not sold on it, but I'll watch the first episode and see what we're dealing with. See if it can hook me. If it can, then fuck, because it airs on Saturdays. as does Ruby, and Gridman's almost over. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to pull for another... No, I'm not, because there are other things airing on Saturdays. We'll see what happens. So, I'll watch the first episode at least of Genlock, and we'll see how it goes. I want to see how Ruby's first foray, or Rooster Teeth's first foray into, like, a new, not just sequel of an animated property will be. And then, finally, a show that I am extremely dubious on. Kaguya-sama wa Kokurasetai. So, Kaguya-sama Love is War. And there is one reason that I am dubious about this show, and it is right here. A1 Pictures. Yeah. Oh, they're listed as being on Yakusoku No Neverland. Okay. So, I don't much care for Sword Art Online Alicization. I don't much care for anything that A1 has done in quite a while. I think they fucked Darling the Franxx up royally. Just most of their shows I'm just desperately disinterested in. Kuroshitsuji feels boring to me, what I've seen of it. E-Project, Brotherhood. Yeah. Gate, no. Grimgart, no. Did not really enjoy this. I don't actually know how much of this I've seen. But I saw enough of it to want to drop it. Yeah, has A1 ever made a show that I actually really, like, unironically enjoy? I haven't seen, whatchamacallit? Your Lie in April. I haven't seen it. So, maybe I would like that. Automaster. I really don't think that A1 has made a show that I like. Magi, I saw the first season of. I thought it was okay. It was like popcorn in the background, and I think I was high the entire time that I watched it. So I don't really trust my opinion on it. Shinsekai Iori, I enjoyed the first time I watched it, but I was really quite young, and having tried to go back to it, I could not get into it again. I have not seen Soritama, but I've heard good things. So I won't diss Soritama. God, they make so many fucking shows. I've also heard good things about Soro no Woto. Zero interest in Fairy Tail, could not get into it. Felt like generic, it's worse than generic Shounen. I've heard really good things about this, about Birdie. I don't know. Jesus, how many studios have 2 pages? The pages are 100 shows. How many studios have 2 pages? Not that many. A1 just pumps it out. Let me just organize by score instead really quick and see if, like... Okay, so Your Lie in April is by far their highest rated show. I don't think this deserves as high a score as it has. I know that this doesn't deserve as high a score as it has. I have not seen Space Brothers, so I can't, like, really comment on that. That's a movie. Anohana was pretty good. I know I've seen part of it. I just don't... Oh, I have it listed as complete. Apparently I've seen all of it. I don't remember it at all. I just remember thinking it was pretty good. That's part of the thing about their shows. They just don't leave an impression on me. Why is SAO Alicization rated above an 8? Like, seriously, what the fuck? Okay. 8.5. Good. All right. I just wanted to make sure that those are rated higher than that. Good. Jesus. All right. This video has taken a turn for the shitting on A1, and that's a turn for the worse. So, anyway, Kaguya-sama has an interesting premise. It's a battle of love. They both have feelings for one another. It's like taking the will they won't they to the absolute extreme. So they fight based on, I don't even know. I don't fucking know. It seems interesting. It's rated teens. Maybe it'll be witty. I don't know. Shinichi Omata, what have you got under your belt? Did episode directing on Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica. Okay. And directed Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, which is one of the best shows to come out in the last while. Okay. Oh, and Arakawa did storyboard on it. Okay. Okay. I feel like this could be good just based on the director. I feel like it will be extremely generic just based on the studio. It airs either Saturday or Sunday early in the morning. I think Saturday. So, that's the lineup. Mob Psycho, Neverland, Shield Hero, Dororo, Boogie Pop, Revisions, Genlock, Kaguya-sama. 8 shows. That's way too many shows. So some of these are going to have to hit the cutting board. The ones that I don't think will hit the cutting board, or at least I will give more leeway than others, are Mob, Boogie Pop, and Dororo. Neverland and Shield Hero, they're just doubts about the staff. But they've got really strong source material, so hard to say. Revisions is already on the chopping board because it looks really funky, but I'm going to give it a try because I feel like I want to give it a try. Kaguya-sama is on the chopping board. If it feels generic and straightforward like a slice of life romance thing, I'm not interested. Maybe on my own time in the far future when I don't have a million shows to watch. But right now, I've got a million shows to watch, and most of them are really quite good. So I'd rather watch really good old stuff than waste my time with like one core mediocre romance. But I don't know that it'll be mediocre. Maybe it'll be stunning. Maybe it'll hook me the way the Bunny Girl did this season. I don't know. I hope that once all of these have aired, that I'm in a really tough place because they're all super good, and I don't know what to do, because I don't have time to watch them all. I hope that's the case. I think that some of them are going to fall flat. We'll see. Anyway, this is the lineup. We'll see how it goes. I'm currently polling for a new Thriller Thursday show, which will be added to my lineup soon, very soon. The two sort of top frontrunners from the open polling session have been pretty strongly Revolutionary Girl Utena and Shiki, with Utena pulling in 27 votes at the moment, and Shiki pulling in 18 votes at the moment. So, strong lead for Utena. But as I do with these, I take the top two, and I watched the first episode, and I just finished that recording a little while ago. I watched the first episode of each, released them both for all patrons, all tiers, and create a poll, head-to-head. I have a strong feeling that Utena is going to sweep the floor with Shiki, And if it does, then I think I will watch Shiki for my new late night with TeeHee slot, where I can just watch an episode whenever I want to, whenever I feel like it. And then Utena will probably be the new Thursday show, which is awesome because it looks awesome. Either way, I'm excited. So, yeah, that's what's coming next season that's of interest to me. Let me know if there are shows that are coming next season that you're super hyped for that I missed, and I'll look into them and see if I'm also hyped for them. I don't know. But I thought I would do this as like an all-together rundown and let you know what I'm going to be watching at least the first episode of this next coming season. So, I've been TeeHee. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to catch you next season and in the next ones. Peace.